I'll call this August 25th, 2026 regular town board meeting of the town of White to order. Can I get a motion for a chair?
I'll make a motion to appoint Amy as chair. Since
That.
since we're missing Glenn.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, roll call.
Sam Dobson.
Mike Anderson.
John Carlson.
Amy Baxter. Glenn Carlson's absent. He's out of town. If I could get public comment A of less than 1 minute. Did you state your name, please?
Tara Austin.
Okay.
I oppose alternative 7 for the LaPointe development proposal. I have signed a purchase agreement for the parcel numbers 014004008, 0400, and 014004008, 0402. And alternative 7 would severely restrict my ability to build on site due to setbacks, disrupting my plans to build a home, studio, and life on the point. The historic site includes the Woods Carriage House, which is personal significance as my great grandmother, Winnie Andrew, worked at the Exarban Horse Track where Shirley Woods Peterson was a countess. To avoid placing an unnecessary burden on my property, please consider other viable options. I have identified 2 IFC approved hammerhead alternatives. In addition to the 4 alternatives, utilizing 6th Street or the interested parties property.
Thank you. Anybody else for a public comment? Moving on to administration reports, the town administrators reports. Any questions or comments for Max?
I have a question for Max about his memo. When you, in your first paragraph, Max, in your memo, you have they, are you talking about REM as they?
Oh, you're talking about the read memo. Us.
Yeah, talking about REM inspection.
They sent them, yes.
Okay, got it.
Any more questions for Max? Okay, Public Works, approve a purchase order for the bleacher board replacements.
I'll make a motion to approve the order for the rec center bleacher boards replacements.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Discussion of the 6th Street vacation and alternatives.
Well, personally, I still feel that this is 2 separate issues, the vacation of the 6th Street and these turnarounds, which according to some of the material, it's not needed. So that's a separate issue. So I'm in agreement with vacating the street, but these other issues, that's for another time.
You can't, I'm talking to Rich. You got a 7th alternative now.
Yes, so the property owner stopped by town hall on Friday.
Okay,
And you know, we had gone through 6 alternatives in addition to the do nothing at the last
Right.
meeting. And recommended a alternative number 7 to be considered. So and that is solely on property that they currently own, although part of that is for sale.
Oh, so this that's marked that they would be doing is on property they don't own?
No, it's on properties that they currently own, but there is a pending sale.
Purchase.
Yes.
Well, I think,
So this was,
I do think that it's the same issue, because if they want 6th Street gone and, you know, things happen, like, say, I don't know, there's some big fire or whatever, and, or things change down there and we need better turnaround for emergency services for like, Everybody's saying it's fine now, except for the property owner whose driveway they currently use to turn around in. I just think that we shouldn't vacate a street that without like maybe the piece of the street for a turnaround instead of somebody else's driveway. That's why I don't feel like we should vacate it in case we do need a better alternative for turning big trucks around in the future.
Well, that is two, I agree that is two, that's two separate issues, because I don't know who came up with this, meaning Rich.
We,
No, that was,
You've got,
yes,
on this back page, you've got the two stars and it says
oh,
that no town roads all town roads will have cul-de-sac. I can name a bunch of town roads that don't have cul-de-sacs.
mine,
So I don't know where it comes up. I don't know where you're getting this from,
yeah, so that comes out of one of the town's ordinances.
but it shouldn't be,
Too.
because there's a whole bunch of town roads that don't have cul-de-sacs.
Correct, and I did look, there's roughly 25 streets on the island that more or less dead end. And there's various states of improvement regarding the turnaround. So I agree with that, but that's full disclosure that there is.
But also you have that you spoke with pretty much everybody, the fire department.
I did.
And everybody says it's fine the way it is, basically. I mean, it'd be nice if you could keep going, sure. It'd be great. It'd be wonderful.
Yes.
But that's not the case.
But
Correct.
that's something we could also deal with at a later time. We could vacate the road and deal with if it needs a cul-de-sac later on, because it hasn't been that way for years and it's never been, and I don't even know how did the cul-de-sac come up? Because we
it's
never,
because of the property owner that everybody turns around in their driveway.
oh,
So when we held the public hearing for the sixth.
right, now I remember that now, but I still think it's two separate issues. The vacating and then building the cul-de-sac, because we were also told that the vacating the cul-de-sac would be built by the homeowner. Which isn't true. It would be built by the town.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was a side discussion or near the end of the discussion in the TPC meeting. So nothing was voted on that.
Right.
It's just, yeah, a discussion.
So when you're talking about, when you say vacate Sixth Street, you're talking about coming off of Sixth Street to where it is now, crossing Whitefish Street, and then the owners of the property, they are requesting a vacation of Sixth Street.
Yeah, so Sixth Street basically from where Nebraska Road, where it dead ends in Nebraska Road.
Right.
Over to Whitefish, which is approximately, I think, 253 feet or so.
But weren't we talking about putting, I mean, if at all, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but if at all, putting a cul-de-sac at the end of Nebraska Road, which wouldn't have anything to do with Sixth Street.
Correct, and that's where we looked at the different alternatives that are out there, because of the 25 that are on the island today, there's a couple that have a Y that are more of like hammerhead shaped. So it was looking through all of the alternatives that could function like a cul-de-sac without going all the way to cul-de-sac.
It's my understanding that all town roads have to have a cul-de-sac at that end so that you can turn or just keep vehicles around.
Well, that's what it says, David, but I can name a bunch of town roads that don't have cul-de-sacs. So we can change that
Doesn't
word.
mean it's not right. you know?
We can change the word.
Public comment is at the end though.
We can change.
You missed the first public comment.
I mean, it does say shall, but we can change it to should be, or could be, or maybe.
Correct,
It doesn't, I mean, there's a whole bunch of roads that don't have it.
right.
Alex, at the end of Alex's road doesn't have it, you know?
Right, but everybody turns around in my driveway and my culvert is dying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying, that this isn't fair. If we vacate that road, it isn't fair to that property owner that everybody turns around in their driveway. That's all.
If, think,
I feel like you've said everything I would say. I I'm struggling with this exists, but we have all of these examples of cul-de-sacs that don't exist. And how do you go forward with that? Setting precedent.
In my opinion, it's whoever, if it benefits the property owners in around that area. And if the fire department or the ambulance or the town crew or somebody comes forward and says, hey, we need that area cleared out to turn around, then the heck with it.
They've been saying that forever.
No, they're not saying.
What, and so what was the response from the fire department?
Yeah, I mean,
If you-
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah,
So yeah, you discussed it with me. I mean, the best thing for the fire department is a full turnaround to the other street, so you can come in and bring in whatever. That's the best fire protection for the neighborhood. There's countless driveways in areas on the island that don't have perfect turnarounds, so that, you know, it doesn't mean that it's a restriction. We're prepared to put out a fire in whatever circumstance we can.
You're saying ideally, it would be to just be able to turn around and,
Of course.
yeah, that would be the ideal, but it's not.
Put 6th Street all the way through.
Yes, that would be.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, 6th Street connecting the two streets is, it's the best emergency protection for fire. But there's plenty of areas on the island that don't have a street turnaround. We prepare to go down long driveways. Do what we. Okay, so. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we can't, sometimes, you know, some driveways are too long and narrow, too overgrown to get a big engine down, so.
Bunch of,
It else might catch fire.
yeah.
Okay, so this was just a discussion. Do I need to ask for a motion?
If you guys are ready, otherwise we can defer it to Thursday.
I'm sure Glenn would like to be.
Yeah, I don't think, yeah.
Okay, so everybody okay with waiting on a vote for this until Thursday? Or do you want to vote now?
Wait until Thursdays.
Well, I think we've deferred it a month already.
Okay, then I'm just down.
Make a motion that we vacate 6th Street and wait for the alternative turnarounds at a later date.
Is there a second to that motion?
Well, I want to understand the motion.
Vacate the street.
Vacate street
and-
and take up the cul-de-sac issue
At a
at
later-
another time.
Yeah, because because they're both on one thing, so I split them up because I don't believe the alternative things should be voted on at the same time as vacating it.
But if we vacate the street, then
That option's gone
that
forever.
option is, yeah, you can't put a cul-de-sac on a street vacated. You're talking about a cul-de-sac on the end of Nebraska
Right.
Road.
If it ever comes up that we put one in, or
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? No.
No.
So we need Glenn anyway. That'll happen Thursday. Okay, approve the town of Point electric ordinance.
I've got a question about this too.
So this is happening because, September 1st, DSPS is officially implementing a new statewide electrical code, which adopts the 2023 National Electric Code. REM Inspection LLC is an authorized state delegated local review agent for non-UDC inspection. The absence of our own electric ordinance, they have offered this as a template because we didn't have one.
Okay, so Matt, this is a question for Max. And basically, they took this electrical ordinance and put in town of LaPointe in place of Ashen County.
Yes.
Okay. And so just so everybody knows that we're chapter 60, Pound's chapter 60, a village is 61, a city is 62, a county is 63. So my question is, so who enforces this?
Well,
If,
our UDC inspector is not, cannot do commercial electric. He
right?
can do residential electric. So REM would be our commercial inspector.
So it says that a forfeiture may be up to $1,000 each day for non-compliance. So who enforces that? Does REM enforce that?
Well, this is our ordinance.
So what I'm saying is, it's not Rich's job as a zoning administrator to go out and enforce this, is it?
Well, let's say, hypothetically, let's say REM does an inspection and it fails.
Right?
And then this penalty is put in place. And it wouldn't be Rich, but it would be the town, the point that would enforce that penalty.
Bill 'em.
I guess the collateral benefit to this, according to what REM said, we adopted this ordinance. And the permitting that goes, the permitting process, how we can do permit fees come through us rather than just go to the state, but.
The one thing that kind of bothers me is, so we get this electrical ordinance to pass. They sent this as a template, you said.
Yeah.
And so everything, did they send it to Ashland County too? And that's why Ashland County's crossed out?
I don't know, that's a good question. I don't know what other folks are doing, I don't know, do you know?
I don't know. They use this as an example, I believe, of other towns that they're doing commercial inspections for. So they send it to us, for our review, and we marked it up, Town of La Pointe. And to keep it from differing from other ordinances that they've worked with communities on.
And then, so whose job would it be to change all this to the town, like to change the chapter to the town? In the second paragraph, it has the county board. So would it be Alex's job to change to the town?
Well,
So this was discussed last week, and they sent us a version that wasn't marked up. And they asked for us to mark it up and send it back. So I did on Friday. I made the changes and I scanned this and sent it back to them. And since then, I believe it was yesterday, we actually got one that was,
But we didn't get it.
no, because we try to have everything in your boxes by noon on Friday.
Gotcha.
And so this just came through yesterday.
So you've got something that we don't have.
I have the original that will be signed. It's just the same thing. It just doesn't have the crossed out marks on it. So it doesn't say,
So instead of county board, it says town board.
Yeah.
it says town board, town of La Pointe.
And as far as the chapters go, it doesn't have county as the chapters, it has us.
Correct.
So because state statute chapter town is 60. Okay, that's pretty much my difference.
Any other questions?
I guess I'm wondering why REM is bringing this to the town. Because it says that they're gonna do all non-UDC locations when we have a UDC inspector. And REM just does our commercial. There's some things in here, so from what I'm reading and what I interpret. Is anything that a circuit is brought to, a doghouse, a shed, a garage, a chicken coop, will have to have a electrical permit pulled out and inspected.
Yes, generally speaking, and I see this as more of a Town of La Pointe ordinance, not specifically for REM. So, when they talk about designated electrical inspection agency, for commercial, we go through REM. But for anything that would be residential, we go through Steve. And so I see this as applying to non-UDC, but it depends on whether it's, residential or commercial, depends on who we go with for the inspection.
And then for the electrical licensing required, it says that you have to be a master electrician. Well, you can be a journeyman electrician and have an apprentice working for you, but you work under a master's who works for the company. So that's not in here. There's some things in here that I agree with, but I don't agree with. It would be nice for them to come here and interpret it for us. For these guys, because I don't want to interpret the whole thing. Because I'm not an inspector and I'm not going to make my judgment on this. They are the ones who are going to tell the electricians in town how they interpret it.
We can make that happen. Let's just do that. Let's just.
And I guess I got one more question. Do we currently inspect commercial buildings
Yes, through REN,
through REN?
right? But this is due to the change that's happening through DSPS
So-
November 1st.
My next question was, the clinic's commercial building, did it have a commercial inspection done?
I'm
In the
sorry.
remodel?
The clinic.
When their clinic just had a remodel, did they get a commercial inspection?
I don't know that they were changing anything. I don't know.
Who would know?
Steve brought, we brought him over there. He did-
Okay.
He did an inspection. He didn't flag that we had to get a commercial inspector.
Well, you should have because it's a commercial building,
Oh, okay.
That's not for this.
but it's not for this. I'm good. If these guys want to vote on it, that's fine. I'm going to recuse myself because this is how I make my living.
No, well,
I've
I
just got,
wanted to say what it's supposed to say about journeyman and stuff, though.
Oh,
I've just.
I
got
agree
one
with,
more
I agree
question.
with that part, so
I-
maybe let's just wait on voting on this until,
Well, I'll make a motion to pass it.
yeah.
If I got one more question. So if Sam is putting up a commercial building and I decide to rat her out that I don't think she did electrical work properly, who do I tell?
Well, it would be Town of LaPointe who would coordinate with REM.
And then you'd get a hold of REM
Yes,
and then REM would do the inspection.
yes.
I just don't understand where that $1,000 penalty comes in.
So that was something that they've used as to what they believe that each day of non-compliance should cost.
Cause there could be a lot of commercial buildings in non-compliance.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that I guess we could.
We could get rich on this.
yeah, go broke.
All right, I got enough information. I'll make a motion to pass the electrical ordinance as presented.
Oh. Second with discussion, I would still like it to say that a journeyman can do it if they're under a master.
But that's a state law, isn't it?
This is new. That's why this is.
It should be a state law. It should be in the books, that SPS should have it in there. And as far as when they said September 1st, when I took the class last week, they still haven't printed out the changes yet. They don't want to print it out till after that day because they don't want anybody to get confused, is what they told us.
Well, we're obviously not experts at electrical, but if we want to get REM up here for you guys to question, we can.
Or at least do it a video
Or some.
thing, would be perfect. That's up to these guys.
I made a motion.
I seconded them. All in favor?
I,
No.
Wow, I'd like to hear if they're gonna talk.
Okay.
One eye.
yeah, I said. pass.
One eye. 2 nays, 1 abstention.
We're not getting anything done tonight. Good record going.
Glenn, where are you? All right, so, and to not get another thing done, we're going to, I'm gonna ask for a delay of 4B1 to defer this until Thursday, please, when Glenn is here. I get a motion. to-
I'll make a motion to defer approve the terms of the Bayfield MOU that might go into closed session till Thursday.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, we're going to reappoint to Samantha Dobson and Lois Carlson for their terms, which will end 8/31/2028. I'd like to make a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Lois Carlson and Samantha Dobson with the term ending of 8/31/28 for the Affordable Housing Committee.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We need people. If you're interested out there,
Yeah, I was gonna say, pass some.
please join us.
For D, any questions comments on the committee minutes?
I've got a question about the library minutes.
Okay,
Maybe someone can refresh my memory. The ones dated June 16th, 2026. There's two of them.
Yeah.
And number 5, it said the rec center program has begun. The first day went well. Lauren will now be focusing on the community center project, skate park, and the internal staff library stuff. When she came to talk about the skate park, wasn't it just her, or was it that, I thought it was just her coming to ask about doing promoting the skate park to get donations. She didn't mention it was underneath the library.
yeah, it's underneath the library,
Is it?
part of the
Okay,
after school program.
okay,
Summer rec programs.
Okay. I wasn't-
The school is.
I don't remember.
Oh, right,
saying-
right, summer rec.
Okay. How about,
I think it just gives her more oomph when she's trying to get grant
Okay.
money to do it summer rec program way.
Yeah, and it's a big part of the programming in the summer.
sure, I was just
That's why the
wondering,
connection exists.
because when she came, I thought, I didn't realize she was speaking as the library director. I thought she just came as Lauren.
Right. Any other questions on the committee minutes? All right, moving on. Town hall administration, we have the budget summary report.
I will make a motion to approve the budget summary report for July as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and approval of the payroll portal annual subscription.
I will make a motion to approve the payroll portal with Workhorse as presented with discussion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, I mean, discussion.
Max, on the original one you gave us, it was $400 for tier 1. And then they decided that we're gonna be tier 4. So it's up to $1,400. Is that right? Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to find out.
I wanted to have it, the price if, we had an increase in, people on our payroll.
And so that's based on the number.
It's the number of people times the number of paid. So you could play with bi-monthly or monthly or bi-weekly. We're sticking with the bi-weekly, but then it's times the employees.
So tier 1 was at $400 and we're gonna be at tier 4.
Could be.
And so it's gonna be $1,250.
What I wanted the board to approve is that number, that we don't, if we have an increase in employees,
So they don't know yet.
I don't have to come back.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see, we've got approved modifications to non-motorized vehicles ordinance, chapter 432.
Can we, I'd like for this as well. I was supposed to get a hold of the people that have the wall racks
Yeah,
and I haven't tracked them down. So can we just do this? We don't have to do it even Thursday. We can do it at the next
okay,
regular board meeting.
okay.
I'll make a motion that we defer the motorized vehicle ordinance 432 till the next meeting,
Next regular town board meeting.
next regular town board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the contract for septic waste removal with Island Septic.
It's a one bid, right?
Yeah.
I don't have it. Well, this. I make a motion to accept the bid from Island Septic.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve the contract for the community security solutions.
I will make a motion to approve the contract with Community Security Solutions as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vouchers?
I will make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $33,509.50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alternative claims?
I will make a motion to approve the alternative claims in the amount of $57,920.17.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The treasurer's report. I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report with a account balance of $1,186,866.18.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We need to defer the minutes until next meeting. Or next regular meeting on,
Yeah.
next regular town board meeting. For emergency services, we have the fire department approve the purchase order for SCBA 2026-21.
I will make a motion to approve. Well, the estimate and then the amount. To approve the purchase order as presented from the fire department.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we have approved the updated fire department bylaws.
Jay's here. This was a little bit confusing to me anyway. So nobody was in good standing with the fire department, so you're changing the criteria?
So these were written in the seventies. That's the best I can ascertain. 75% of all calls isn't even reasonable for a full-time firefighter. No one's on call all the time. With our small volume of calls,
Okay,
you can miss a week and then no, so nobody was in compliance. Closest person was Lucas. Ray and I were a close second. But yeah, as far as we can ascertain, no one has ever really made that attendance. The national average is 20 to 40% is what's required. 40% and people who are like paid part-time, like paid on call, like our EMTs, 20% for pure volunteers. We kind of set it at 35, which was higher of that end. And also you have an opportunity to make up if you miss some calls. You can come in and do an extra task at the hall and make up, just because we don't want people to be out of compliance if they're, trying to show up and do the best. We kept the training level at 75%, which is 25% higher than the national average for volunteers for good standing. Also, you can come to a planning meeting to make those up, where we really wanted to make sure that people are showing up to training and being prepared, because that makes people safer and the community safer.
so how will this affect? We passed. You guys are gonna get fired, or you're gonna get ferry cards.
Right,
So you're gonna divvy out those ferry cards to people who are in good standing.
have to be a good stand. That's why we wanted to see what what are our criteria for good standing? It turns out that 30 or 75% for calls attended was out of, policy.
And then you guys vote on it after we do? You,
So we, as far as I can understand, we don't need to vote, on the bylaws. We just need the town to approve our change in the bylaws. But we did take a vote and had 100% approval on that criteria.
okay. Any questions? Anybody else?
No.
No, that I did on the tongue. I'll make a motion to accept the, or approve the bylaws as presented to be in good standing with the fire department.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
public comment B. Yes.
You can't dictate to the library because they're an entity of their own, but you might want to question the board, especially in the alternative claims. I think there's a $1,500 expense to the Apostle Island Police Service and a $728 expense to Hard Rapids for shirts. You might want to ask them, what's it for? What's the necessity of it? I don't know, it's already been budgeted for 2026. You just approved it, it's spent, it's gone. Well, maybe for 2027, and remember this when you're pulling your hair out, trying to get money for something else. You might want to figure that in for 2027 and say, well, maybe how important is rec center programming for a cruise service, or $728 just for shirts, when you got maybe something else, maybe something a little more important than shirts or a cruise service. Just throwing this out for the 2027 fiscal year. I'm just spitballing this. Just throwing it out, guys. I don't know, oxygen for the ambulance service. Being just a little facetious, but I mean, I've seen this before in budget workshops and you're trying to figure out where you're gonna get money for something. Needs and wants. Everything that was a need, but really? You need
Anybody
that
else?
shirt.
Anybody else for public comment B?
Sheriff Fosdick here. I'm just representing Harold Austin, Mr. Architectural Associated. I've seen design. I just want to make a clarification on the Sixth Street Vacation Mission and her potential property. She has a signed purchase agreement for the property immediately to the east of the end of the Nebraska Road. There are several different options for Hammerhead, for Y, and for cul-de-sac options for a turnaround. There's also the option of the taking of a portion of her property for that. And that would severely reduce her ability to build on that piece of property because of setback issues. So I just want to make it clear that there are at least 6 other alternatives that do not involve the taking of this property. She has a purchase agreement. She's about ready to finalize this. Now this has come up. There's a potential that if that last alternative was enacted, to take a portion of her property for a hammerhead turn, that it would severely reduce her ability to use that property. So I just want to make sure that you all understand that that is a critical issue for her purchase, which is pending. If it were possible to review all the other options as priority items, which by the way include the intersection of 6th and Nebraska Road, meaning you may need some land on the 6th Street in order to make that hammerhead or cul-de-sac. There's no objection on her part to any of those solutions. The only one she objects to is the one that takes her property.
Any other public comment?
Did Alex catch your
My
name?
understanding that the 6th Street, it's not her property, it's the
Not saying it
the
is,
easement for the road.
not saying it is, not talking about that. We're talking about alternative 7, which actually takes a block out of the end of her property in order to solve the problem.
That there were 2 additional hammerhead alternatives that aren't even listed in the alternatives right now. And fine.
Anybody else?
I have a public comment in regards to the town illegally letting people stay in their Bravo building over here. It is not zoned for residential people to spend the night in. And last year, this came to my attention when I was the existing fire inspector, and I said, absolutely not. And I was told that the town has made an agreement with Novato for a serviceman to spend the night there if need be because of boats canceled or whatever. But again, this year, there's people with small children spending the night, the weekend, sleeping in the Novato public building over here. That's not zoned for residential people to be sleeping there overnight. They sure aren't paying the county the taxes that other renters on the island. It's not set up for a fire escape. There's no way the town should be letting people spend the night or the weekend who are Novato employees in their building over there. It's simply not set up for. And why this has been going on is, yeah, I mean, it's.
But just a sidebar on that, if there are letting someone stay there, they're paying the room tax.
Exactly my point. Yeah, they're not paying the county taxes, they're not getting inspections there. It would never pass the fire
Yeah,
inspection.
that's a good question, Bo.
And it's been going on. And as a firefighter, if there's a fire at that building, the last thing we'd be thinking is, hey, there's people in there. There should be people in there,
Yeah,
period.
no, that always was kind of set up, just in case, there's an emergency that's just for a serviceman to spend like a night or a weekend. That wasn't ever intended. I mean, that was even at the old building. It was just like for 80% to spend a night or a weekend there. It wasn't like intended for a long-term living quarters.
Yeah, employees to use over the weekend with their children in there. And even with that, it's still not. It's not right for any serviceman to stay in there overnight. It doesn't meet the fire escape going. And it's surely not zoned for anybody to be sleeping in there at night.
Okay,
I contacted Novato because I heard about this and I didn't know anything, and I don't know anything about it.
I didn't know anything about it
Didn't
either.
know anything about it either.
But she said, we've been letting people stay there. And not as people that are here to do work and maybe they have to stay over. But she said, we've never had a complaint. If you tell us you don't want us to do that, we'll stop it. She said she never heard from anybody up here that it was a problem. They will quit it. If we say, no, we don't want that. I still think they might come over here and then they just can't get back. You know, that might be an exception that we could deal with, but it's kind of using it and letting it be kind of recreational stay. And I don't know if they pay or not, but she said, just tell me that you don't want it and we'll stop it.
Sounds like an agenda item.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Last detention last year, I brought it as a fire inspector last year.
okay, it's on the agenda for next week.
Okay.
Liquor licenses, do we have any
Nothing.
lawsuits and legal issues?
I have one more public comment, but it's been over a month. They still haven't changed the fire numbers on Nebraska Road or gotten them resolved on the Lucy in the Sky Drive. A month has gone by. Kid's waiting to get his driver's license, passport, and you can't even give him an address. And we're just gonna go ahead and go with the existing addresses that we've pulled the permit with to build the whole house.
Town pulled my fire number 2 years ago and I still had,
Yeah, well,
and I'm on town planning.
yeah, right.
Well,
Well,
I had no call.
the last
I
meeting.
feel your pain.
Yeah,
We know.
Jim Rogers was here. He said, I've been trying 4 years to get my fire number changed to the right address. And a month ago, still hasn't happened.
It's another agenda.
Okay. But lawsuits and legal, nothing happens.
Pardon?
No, lawsuits and legal, nothing happened, right? Right. Okay, any other new agenda items for future meetings from town board members?
Well, what Boone just brought up,
Yeah, she put that down.
How about, no parking signs at the marina,
the lack of them, I mean,
the lack of them? We approved those too.
Okay,
The issue there is that the marina doesn't want us to put them on the fence. We don't want to put them in post. Because there are things underground. We've heard there are various piping under there. We would rather just put sign on the fence. They don't want that. I think they don't want they want posts to be sort of another kind of obstruction. So I've just let that lie because we'll put them on the fence. We'll put them up.
Couldn't you put them on, there's the signs for the bike lane, could you put them on the same post?
I
The bike lanes,
I suppose.
they're already there.
Yeah, we can do that. But we don't want to start worrying about putting posts in the ground there on that.
Yeah.
Okay, is that it for new agenda item?
I have minutes, the non-motorized vessel ordinance, electrical ordinance, the Norvado issue. And then for Thursday, for the special town board meeting, we'll do the Bayfield MOU and the Sixth Street vacation for Thursday.
Great. Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, don't forget to sign.
You know, I should have done.